Hello, and welcome to DKJ Tutor's first video lesson. What we're going to be talking about today is going to be relative versus absolute paths. Now, it's assumed that you understand HTML quite well, so I'm not going to be going over what are different HTML tags as we go through this. It's assumed you already know that. So, without further ado, let's jump in. And we're going to be talking about relative versus absolute paths, which is what you'll encounter when you write image tags or script tags, etc. Okay, so we're going to be talking about those two. Okay, now I'm going to draw here your web folder, and I'm just going to write this down here. Web root on your web server, where all of your HTML files, your images, etc., your CSS files are going to be. Now, inside of your web root here, you're going to have HTML files. And I'm just going to draw one here, right? And I'm going to call it down here, I'm going to put inside here HTML. Okay. So this HTML file is going to display the picture of a cat. You're going to see as you watch more of these videos that I tend to like using cats as examples. Okay, so this is my HTML file, and on here is going to be a picture of a cat. Now, the picture of a cat, like all the other pictures in our website, are going to be held in a folder called images. This is pretty standard, right? Pretty standard practice. Okay, here you have your images folder here. And inside of the images folder, we're going to have our cat picture. Here we go. And now inside of here is going to be a picture of a cat. And the file name here, oops. The file name is going to be cat.jpg. Okay, here we go. Cat.jpg. Okay. Okay, here we go. So when our viewer to our website comes here and views the HTML page in their browser, whether it be Firefox or Chrome or Safari, we want to tell the browser to fetch and display this image right here. Now, if we were going to use an absolute path over here, right? If we were going to use this one here, then we would write the path as something like this over here. Okay? We would go, let's say something like this. Okay, oops. Okay, and like let's make this yellow for the sake of it being clear. Okay, so here we go. mycatsite.com/images/cat.jpg. And what this basically says is mycat.com, this address here points to our web root here, points to here, right? Now, slash. Then after that, we're going to have the name of the file we want to display, or the name of the folder in which that file is stored, right? In our case here, cat.jpg is inside of the images folder. So we need to say mycatsite.com, which points to our web root, and then /images, which points to the folder, and then /cat.jpg. Right? So this is our absolute path to this file. And this will work when used in an image tag, for example, an img tag. However, it has certain disadvantages, because if you move your site to another domain, right? Maybe you want to call it mycatsite2.com or mypetsite or whatever it is. If you move this site to another domain, this path will stop working, right? Because it will be looking for mycat.com /images/cat.jpg, and it won't exist anymore. So that's one big disadvantage of using absolute paths in your image tags and in your script tags. Another disadvantage, of course, is that it involves a lot of typing. Look at all this. Personally, I'm not a big fan of typing, so I would want to cut down on as much typing as possible. Okay, so now we're going to see how we can use relative paths to make our life a lot easier and save us typing time, so we can enjoy the time we save doing more fun things. Okay, all right, so now let's look at relative positioning right here. Okay, now I'm going to take this absolute path we wrote here, and I'm going to turn it into a relative path. Are you ready? Bingo. This is your relative path. Okay? It doesn't matter what domain you're on. The domain you're on is irrelevant. All that matters here is that you follow the right path to the cat.jpg image relative to the location of the HTML file. You see? So what you're telling the browser here is you're telling the browser to find the images folder right here, go inside the images folder, find the cat.jpg file. You see? And that will work. If you do this, it won't work, guaranteed. You have to, when doing a relative path, you have to not have the initial slash. You just have images and then slash and then cat.jpg. So using it this way, your full image tag would look like this. Okay. There you go. So this is what the inside of your image tag would look like, right? Images / cat.jpg. If for some reason inside of your images you had a subfolder called pets, if you had something like this, and you put your image into it here, then your path would look like images / pets / cat.jpg. What you're telling the browser is you're telling the browser how to find your images, in this case cat.jpg, by following a path of folder, file. I hope this was clear to you. Good luck in your coding.